doggy day. Oh, hello, Mr. Lucky.
Ring, ring, ring.
No humping.
Ring, ring, ring. Hello, simps and also virgins, and welcome.
That's me.
Welcome back to Crown's magical Doom Cave.
Well, welcome back to Crown's Crypto Cave. It's a lovely day over here, and it's a dog day to represent both the markets and actually a little bit of dog action going on right here. That's Lucky, and he is having a very poopy morning, actually, already getting started by shitting all over my chairs, which is great, and humping my shoulder, which is also good. I feel great about that. Anyways, we got plenty to talk about today. We got some runaway altcoins in the last 24 hours, and Bitcoin more or less hanging at the lows, putting in a little bit of a short-term pumpity pump. However, I wouldn't necessarily call it that, just a very short-term time frame, up move right there, and now ranging on the lows once again, and that's going to really lead us into the next few days to come, which is really the topic of today's video. So we're going to go into that deeply soon enough here, but first things first, we need to get through the early morning rigmarole, so early morning rituals. And first things first, I also want to say, hey, good morning to everyone out there. Holy shit, I see a full house in here. I want to say massive welcome to everyone. Good morning to you all, and holy shit, we already got almost 300 likes on this video, and it barely even started. God damn, man, this is a good morning right now. What's up, Robert Ford? I see you over there. Mr. Bimmer, Gohan's mom. Crypto's Fundamentals, there he is. By the way, check out Crypto Fundamentals on Twitter. He's one of the few that I can say is legitimate on Twitter when looking for altcoin gems. Although myself, not that person. But what's up, Yasik? I see you over there. Fedcoin, good morning to you. Stop printing that shit. Although maybe you should, because it is helping out Bitcoin, I do believe. Bullfrog Fire, good morning to you as well. I see Elsa in the chat. No, get out. No girls allowed. And who else do we have? JW, Mr. Daniel. What's up, man? Holy shite. Alberto, FA, man, a lot of new faces here too in Mission Control. Good morning to everyone out there. Anyways, I'm going to get back onto it over here. Oh, I should also let you know a couple things. Okay, so first things first, I always have to preface this whole conversation by saying, hey, hey, do not fucking trade on leverage or trade at all if you have no successful history of prior trading. What you should be doing is using, of course, a testnet or paper account. Now, I do want to let the people know who actually are profitable that you actually do, that VMAX is actually giving out a lot of free money right now. And basically they're giving away, I think it's like a sign-in bonus of what? I actually have it in the link in the description right here. Yeah, 3,600 deposit bonus. Only do that if you, or first off, only do that if it's relevant to you. And I would personally say, hey, look, if you're not already successful, do not be allured by this. They're obviously doing that because it's going to benefit the exchange. But if you actually do know what you're doing and you are a profitable trader, hey, go do a little bit of Robinhood action over there and take some back for yourself. Anyways, with that in mind, oh yes, also, so I recorded a TA like 101 playlist for Elio's channel. He's actually yet to put it up just yet. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to upload it here for the members section on YouTube. So if you actually are in the members section and you're a part of, like, we'll probably put on like one of the higher tiers, you'll have that probably later today. I just need to upload it and then put like words on it and shit like that. It'll be very, very basic, obviously, but just kind of as a thank you for all the people who actually subscribed through the membership on YouTube right there. All right, cool. Anyways, let's get into it right now. Start off with the Crown Chain application, which we found at app.crownchain.net. And what do we see? We see all sorts of new things right now, of which they are significant. We do see that fear and greed index has come down the most that it has been in, it's got to be what, like it's got to be like a couple months now, or at least 2-3 months, I'd imagine, at about a 52 read. We can actually look at the chart there soon enough, but that would be a full-on reset down to neutral zones. Obviously, we're not going to fearful zone just yet, but Bitcoin, you know, still basically around 60,000 bucks. You can't really get too fearful when Bitcoin's essentially is still, in my opinion, at all-time highs. I mean, just a year ago, what, it was like $14,000-$15,000, still kind of ridiculous. So for all the new people in here, please have some understanding of the historical relevancy of this asset. Yeah, it can come down a lot further, no doubt about that. But still, this market, you know, is probably going to move in a, you know, a little bit of a leg at a time, obviously. And we just had a pretty massive leg right there. So it's probably going to be a little bit boring for the next day or two. Anyways, Bitcoin dominance also shooting up about 0.5%, as you would expect. Now, of course, not all altcoins getting absolutely bouquet in the early morning hours. We do see that there are some runaway alts, which can be kind of a concerning sign or concerning signal in some ends. But ultimately, we do expect Bitcoin to put in the reversal there on the Bitcoin dominance, as we have been saying over the past couple weeks here. Now, top 10 best coins, we see Audius 50%, Crypto.com 50% almost as well, Cadena 27%, Immutable X, don't know what the hell that thing is, Algorand, I saw that one go up big, Sandbox, KuCoin token, Avalanche, and Maker all on the winners list, double digits or more, and some of those, yeah, more about 50%. That is actually really, really impressive. Now, here's where all the action's going on today. That is going to be the global funding rates, the global open interest, and of course the global leverage ratio. Now, Now, we actually do see an ever so slight downtick in the global leverage ratio, but still, it is rather high. In fact, it's pretty much at all-time highs itself. So there was a really good discussion in the Discord yesterday between, well, basically KVDB brought it up. Really like this guy. He's great. And he said, hey, Crown, do you think that the global leverage ratio is not as concerning given the fact that if funds are coming off exchanges, basically Bitcoin coming off exchanges, that will naturally put the the leverage ratio up just by the clear fact that, you have less spot on exchanges, and well, if the leverage positions stay the same, then obviously the ratio will go up. But is that still concerning? Well, yes, it is concerning because those positions can still move the market, obviously. And then more importantly, we do see that the global open interest over here, is representing those leverage positions is also quite high, you might say. Again, pretty much at all-time highs for all that's worth. But it does kind of lessen the effect of the long-term analysis of that. Again, that still does align with bull market behavior. And again, I'm not bearish on this market right now. I do think that Bitcoin could take another tumble down. Yep, absolutely, no doubt about that. But I do believe that this is generally going to be very likely a major long-term opportunity, whether it be that we put in a bottom here at about 58.5 or whether it comes down to low $50,000 territory. I only really get concerned on this asset below about $43,000 or $44,000 as we've been saying. Anyways, you can see the global exchange's Bitcoin reserve over here just absolutely just a meltdown. So that does represent Bitcoins coming off exchanges, and this is actually verified by our data provider. So we can say that these are not just internal transfers. These are actually Bitcoins coming off exchanges. And yes, it's pretty much at the lowest level that we've seen since recording this data, which is significant. Obviously, that would imply that people are hodling because, well, you can't really sell your Bitcoin once you have it in a private wallet until you put it, back on an exchange, typically speaking. Anyways, you'll see the net flows over here. Another 10,000 Bitcoins coming off exchanges in the last 24 hours. Not bad. On top of that, the global funding rate is still a little bit below parity. So this would be saying that shorts are being a little bit more aggressive in this current area. That does align the possibility of a potential bear trap. However, in order to confirm a bear trap, we will have to go into price action and define those territories, because right now it's just a possibility. It is certainly not I wouldn't say that, well, it's not that it's not a high probability or low probability. It's just we need to confirm above a certain area in order for that to be an actionable trap, just as before. And of course, over the last week or so, bulls have been failing those essential areas. Anyways, into the third data tab, I just want to look at the fear and greed index right here. And yes, we are at the lowest level that we've seen basically since actually October and September, in fact. So do we typically see some bottoming behavior around here? Could, but actually no. Typically we see some bottoming behavior on like the big bottoms. We love our big bottoms. Actually in the mid to low 20s for what it's worth. So that would be a bit of a counterpoint to what I'm saying right now. Anyways, what we should do now is we should go into the price action charts and we should follow up on the last 24 hours, of which Bitcoin more or less sideways within a range right here, and that is completely fine on the lows. And yes, we did just fail at $61,000 yet again. So what's likely to happen after that? Very likely another drive down here into the blue box territory, whether that be between 59 or 58,500. That's fair game. Now, with that said, I want to bring something up here. And to address the title of this video, of which I said Bitcoin, how to find the next low, the next major low in this case. Well, what do we expect to see on a potential major low? We expect to see at least, at the very fucking minimum, at least a couple drives of bullish divergence on 4-hour RSI right here. And guess what? We very likely will actually have some bullish divergence on 4-hour RSI, assuming that it just doesn't come back down below this prior low right here, which is at a 30 read, which is, somewhat aggressive right there. So on this next drive down, what I would be cognizant of is if we do come somewhere around this, on this trend line right here, alongside an ever so slightly closing lower low, but not breaking the blue box territory, then I would be saying, hey, this is probably going to be the actual base, and I would be expecting that next move up somewhere around about 63, maybe even as much as $65,000 over the next few days to follow. All of this analysis until then has basically been in preparation for that. And of course, we should talk about what happens if we actually break this region. I don't think it's going to happen necessarily on this exact drive, if it is going to happen at all. If it's going to happen, I do think that Bitcoin puts in a bit of a boolah trap first, somewhere around the 0.5 or the 618 Fibonacci retracement right here, which is between about 64.5 and 65.5 on CME. Basically that last little spike high on the 4-hour time frame right here. Anyways, with that in mind, we do see volatility is incredibly low right now, even on short-term timeframes for CME specifically. So I'm not necessarily looking for this one to break right here, even if you're the biggest bear of all time. But hey, if it does, if this actually does break right here on this next very likely test, where would I be looking down towards? Well, in this case, I'd have to be looking towards somewhere around 55, maybe 56,000 bucks for the next tradable bounce, at least in my opinion. But for right now, we do see momentum oscillators starting to regain themselves a little bit, but not really giving off signals just yet. So it's going to be a bit of a waiting game until the end of the day here. Obviously, momentum oscillators over here from this angle are actually starting to again, are pretty much beat up enough right here. We see 4-hour Stoics popping back up and will remain with upside posture as long as we're closing above 59,350. If we go over here to the 12-hour, this will also pop back up above 60,700. So within striking distance, yes, probably not on this next closure, obviously, but maybe a little bit later today or tomorrow, Friday, that is. And then the daily, nowhere near, but you can see that it's coming down rather hard here and will be remaining with downside posture as long as we're coming, as long as we're closing below 63,800. So essentially, if Bitcoin could just not break down below this current territory right here, trade a bit sideways for a day or two, then very likely we do see things start to pop back up. We'll probably get one of those divergence calls. And at that point, I'm probably looking for a few $1,000 move to the upside. And then it's time to be on lower high watch. Similar to what we did the other day, if you are going back on over here to the daily and we look at May of this year, then you will notice something very, very similar, right? Bitcoin in an uptrend, up, 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 higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, beautiful. And let me actually just do some arrows right here. Here's your higher low, here's your next higher low, there's your high. Then what happens right after that? Boom, massive move down. We close on new lows. There's your first lower low. It is time to then be on lower high watch to confirm the reversal. In this case, your lower high, very likely to come in, technically speaking, at the 0.618 Fibonacci retracement. That's exactly where we get it right there. And then big down we go. And could that be what we're looking at over here? Well, higher low, higher low, higher low. Lower low. Do we have a lower high just yet? No, not on CME. We do not. But if there is one putting over here, that's at the point where I really do start to get a lot more bearish, looking for bigger moves to the downside. In that case, 55,000 to 54,000 bucks is extremely likely. And could we see a little bit lower than that over time? Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the next area that I'd be looking for, if this is going to be truly resolved to the upside long term, which I am still long-term bullish on this asset, would be somewhere right around here. This would be kind of like the last chance for love, if you will. Yes, there can be wicks lower into the $48,000 territory, but I just wouldn't want to see any closures below right here. Of course, that would also, if Bitcoin does start to close below there, would also start to potentially call into question the weekly trend right here. Obviously, the weekly higher low that we last had was about 44,000 bucks. So, coming down even around there is not like necessarily a signal of strength, but you can still make some arguments for it. However, I do want to recall this as well. Remember, we saw that shooting star dildo on the weekly for CME right here. That was kind of our cautionary warning signal, and then closing the daily below, I believe, even the 4-hour on CME below 63,500 initiated our first move down to $58,500 target. More likely to bounce here than not, first and foremost. Even if you are looking for a big breakdown, I do think that I do think that downside is very limited in the short term here, except for another swipe or sweep of the current lows. Somewhere right around there would be completely fine. Hey, if we do start to close on new lows below that $58,000 or $58,500 pivot, then okay, I guess I would be looking for that next drive down, and tentatively speaking, the target would be probably where the daily 55 is on CME right here, and I'll be looking for a bounce around there. Again, I don't necessarily think that that's going to happen. I think Bitcoin's a little more likely to bounce here still. I've been saying the same thing for the last few days, but it's important to repeat these things because you can see them as they work over time. And realistically, despite a lot of the YouTube titles and whatnot and thumbnails that you see across the land, what's most likely to happen in trading? It's most likely to ebb and flow. You don't really see a straight shot up and you don't really see a straight shot down. The Moon Boys and the Doom Boys get absolutely fucking boo caked over the long enough period of time, and well, that's that's why we actually have to work as fucking traders. It can't just be that easy. Although sometimes to the upside, it can be a little bit more generous, we'll say. Anyways, okay, cool. So we've gotten through all of that. I want to once again point this out over here. I think that this is just interesting. Not necessarily that I would be betting my life savings on this, but I do think that it is rather interesting. And that is, if we can pull it up and I can actually show it. Yes, so we are coming into the 19th, 20th of this month right now. And just as like a weird thing, we've been seeing a lot of major lows on Bitcoin around that time. I don't know why this is. I have a somewhat thought out explanation, but it's certainly not full. And And it'd be this. I mean, usually around the third Friday, which is around that 20th of the month, essentially, is what's known as your regular expirations for equity options, which is where I come from. I used to be a market maker authorized trader on Arca, and that was a big time because a lot of people would have, or typically those expirations would have a lot of volume on them. And so when it came into, well, expiration, there'd be a lot of, rebalancing, rolling your positions off to the next expiration and all that good stuff. And so that would create, a lot of the time, a big pivot on price action. And just for what it's worth, all of these vertical bars represent, around the 20th of each and every month. Well, obviously not this one, because that's, hey, did I do this properly? I think I did, but I don't know why that one would be there, right? Would be right there. All the other ones are correct though, however. And you can see that, the last time that we actually had a 21st of October, that was actually the high on Bitcoin. Interesting. Now, of course, the times before that were a lot more interesting to the, for lows, essentially. As we do see in September 21st right here, that was the low at about 40,000 bucks. Yes, Bitcoin did spend some time around that lows, which we could maybe see something like that over here as well. Put in a bit of a bear trap and then work its way back on up. But there's no speaking, at least in my opinion, of an actionable verified bear trap. And this is very, 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 very important to understand, as long as Bitcoin's below about 65,000 bucks on a daily closure. Above there, yeah, okay, we very likely have a bear trap, and we can start talking about moon boy targets yet again. Maybe Plan B's end of month $98,000 prediction still comes to fruition. I'd be open-minded against that, but it's looking like maybe maybe his winning streak might run out there. Still very impressive in my opinion. Although, man, people are just so fucking aggressive with that guy. It's like, Jesus Christ, man, let him have an opinion for the love of God. Anyways, going back to the next month, here's your August lows right here. Of course, this was actually a $10,000 move, even though it doesn't look like too much on this logarithmic scale. Of course, the one before that was in July. Wait, August, June, July, August. Yeah. So July was over here. That was the major macro low at 30,000 bucks before that bear trap. And then of course the same one over here in June on the 21st, 22nd. Again, not a macro low, but a $10,000 move. Same thing over here on the May lows after the first initial major massive dump. And that one was of course, more than a $10,000 move on the first initial reaction. Same thing over here, April, $10,000 move. Same thing over here, March, $10,000 move. This one was not necessarily around the 20th of February. It was actually the 27th of February for the legitimate low right there, to be fair. So I didn't count that one in. And then we got the same thing over here in January and December. And if we went to November, it'd be the same thing over there as well. So I just thought that was rather interesting. Of course, we are coming into about the 20th of the month, not tomorrow, but the day after that. And then of course, if you do believe in the moons, of which, as the great Jason Pizzino said, yes, they exist out there. But I just think that is interesting given their, history thus far. We do have a full moon, if you do happen to believe in that, coming I think tomorrow. So that would be the Bula moon for the non-moon aficionados right there. So that's something that I think it's interesting to look at. Again, I really would hold my full judgment on that, or at least I would say hold your full judgment on that if you think that is complete bullshit before actually backtesting yourself, because I think for most people out there, myself included, I would have actually been more profitable just trading the moons in the last year. And the data is what the data is. Do I feel good about that? No, the fucking moons beat me. The fucking moons beat me. Those bastards, those goddamn moons. But fair enough. Anyways, we are 28 minutes into this video. Is it time to get on into the alerts? I think it is, man. I think it is. So you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to throw... Oh, actually, there's one last thing that I missed that I did not talk about over here. When talking about a major low in Bitcoin, there is another major indicator that I'll always like to consult with before thinking, okay, this might be like a major low. And it's this one right here, the PMARP. And you'll see with all of these or did I? No, I do not have it marked off with the vertical bars, but basically in this green zone right here, between these two green horizontal bars right here, we do typically find some pretty major lows. We're talking about like, your May lows after that 50% dump. We're talking about this major low over here from 53 all the way down to 40,000, which was rather scary. And then of course, same thing over here from September of last year. All of these were some pretty hefty lows at the time, but, and of course, even our, even the flu dump, will say. Of course, YouTube does not like the C word. They don't like both the C words, but they really don't like the C flu word is what I'm trying to say right now. So I'll avoid saying it for the time being, because I've gotten some weird messages after that. I'll just say that, and we'll just move on from there. How about that? But yeah. So yes, I think that's pretty much it for me right now. Are we necessarily around that region? No, or we are around it, certainly, yes. But of course, if we are going to actually hit it, it would imply that we do take, another nice leg down, you might say, another nice leg down. So I do really think that, there is certainly a threat of another move down. Again, targets are basically $55,000, give or take $1,000, you might say. And then if that one fails, I'm looking at about, $51,000 to $52,000. Below there, things start to look a lot more bleak, I would say. Until then, I'm generally looking for a short-term bounce solo right here. And if the bounce basically fails to get back above $65,000, probably within the next week or two, then I'd be pretty damn concerned. In fact, I would actually elongate that a little bit more, because remember, this whole bounce into the lower high over here did take about 3 weeks or almost a month in that case. So, could it take some time? Yeah, absolutely. I'd keep a bit of an open mind on this one. Basically, it's available as long as Bitcoin just doesn't break below on a daily closing basis, let's call like 58,500-ish region. Especially on CME, that would look rather concerning, you might say. All right, cool. I'm going to turn on the alerts over here. Again, we're going to work through them one by one. So please understand that if you're sending them in right now, you're going to be at the end of the list. So that's why it's going to take some time to actually get towards you. But let me just scroll back on up here. Let's see what else has already laid out. And I see that Miko's Adventures is first for today. CRO, please. Also, you look good in a man bun. I've actually never had a man bun, but thanks, man. I've had some clips in my hair, which are quite nice to do. Jesus Christ, hidden my little bell over here. And yeah, let's look at some CRO action, because that one's been one of the more strong ones recently. And what do you know? More strength from the strong ones. And here we go. Here we have crypto.com, symbol CRO. And what do we have here? We have continuation. So we got the bullish engulfing closure that we were looking for yesterday. Of course, it's been one of the strongest names in cryptocurrency land for a while now. And we've been following up on this one for the time being. And would I be looking for this one to continue onwards and forwards here after a bit of a short-term pullback based off of that about 55 to 60 cent target that we had from yesterday? Yes, I would, but short-term pullback is not the same thing as high-term time frame reversal. And perhaps you could even argue that we've already even gotten the pullback right here, as you see several kind of ebbs and flows on this one. Are we building up any divergences right now? Even on the hourly, not really. 4 hours, obviously not going to have it as well. So while I am led to believe that this one very likely does continue on the higher term timeframes, short-term timeframes might have an ebb and a flow. I would look at 50 cent to be a bit of a base right here. So I'll actually mark that off. Or what we can do now is we can just move this one up so that we can represent that right there. Beautiful. And as long as that closure is maintained, I am looking for, again, trend continuation along volatility expansion. And momentum oscillators are still showing, some upside momentum right here. I really like that daily jewel for one more drive, and still targets to the upside on the more medium term time frames was going to be in the deep 60s to maybe even 70 cents, and I would be looking for a greater consolidation around there. Still though, long term, great chart, great chart right here. Just I would be looking for a bit of a pullback from that region and consolidate, and maybe the party's over for a bit before potential continuation maybe into end of year. This is one of the best charts that we've seen over the past week or two here, and I suspect that it very likely begets more of that. Anyways, I just briefly want to check it over here just to see if maybe anything's really disagreeing with that. Nope, daily stocks are up and erect as long as above 46.38. 12-hour is also erect and freshly erect above 51. And if we go over here to even the 4-hour, let's see what we got. Also erect as fuck, above 45 cents. So yeah, I'd be looking for this one to have at least one more extension to the upside. Probably reach for one of those more crazier targets and then consolidate a bit lower over the next week or two, and then come back to it after that. Hopefully that was helpful. And there you go for crypto.com, sir. Let's see. Mission Control says, in honor of the upcoming Beaver Moon, is it really the Beaver Moon? Please 4-hour and daily for F9 Falcon, the SHIB launchpad. Okay. I can't promise that this is going to pop up on TradingView. Yeah, it's not going to pop up on TradingView, man. It looks like this is, yeah. Well, I do see that you can chart it versus Ethereum, so that's the best that I can do for you. Let's see what we got. It actually is bullish right here, yes, versus Ethereum, which is probably a good sign, seeing as Ethereum is more or less kind of steady for the day. I mean, it's down 1%, but that's steady for cryptocurrencies, I guess. Kind of fucking crazy to even say that. But yeah, we do have some hidden bullish evidence right here on the daily, it looks like, formulating. If it can close here or higher by end of day, I would be looking for this one to pop back up somewhere around about 92 to 93,000-ish region. And what do we have here? We have a general uptrend. I mean, I'm always going to like that. I don't get bearish on something like this, as long as you're especially above that last higher load, about 54,300 below there. Yes, problems, and I'd look for this one to fall back on over to its September lows, maybe lower than that over time. But until then, this has got more good things going on it than not. But I would say that if you are having an event like that, especially with a name like SHIB, Usually it's going to run up into the event and then sell off as the event starts, but maybe this time's different. So who knows? But yeah, short term, medium term, I would be bullish on that one. It actually does look okay. Anyways, FA says just getting out of my system early, sir. All good, man. GM, new memecoin. OKX has history. All right, got listed in separate exchanges across. Chart looking bullish for continuation. Thoughts on structure and fib levels. Let's see. Okay, so this is symbol GM. All right. Okay, it's coming up here. Thank you for specifying the exchange. That's actually very helpful. Yeah, this one has the history, and it's only been around for like a week, less than a week actually. Not great, man. Not great. I mean, even the hourly has a bit of bearish divergence right there, but I don't think it's going to be deadly for this one. 4 hours. I mean, it's a little bit too new even for a 4 hour, man. Maybe a buy hourly, barely even a buy hourly. Look, I hold my reservations on something like this. Do I think that it could have maybe one more move towards like 80,000 or 81,000? 81,000, maybe yes. But I wouldn't necessarily be bullish on this thing as long as you're below about this lower high right here. Sorry, this prior high right here. Above there, that's what I actually get very bullish on it long term, I suppose. Not that there's like a long term for something that's been around for a week, but you get my point. And I can tell you where I'd actually look for this rally to completely crumble and fall down to the ground and do the old rug pull right below 54,000 or so. That's a concerning area right there. Until then, you know, sideways, I guess, is okay. You know, you do have your short-term uptrend here, but forgive me for having a bit of reservations about what seems to be another meme coin right there. I would not plot fibs on that until you actually do take out this level right here. This is irrelevant for what it's worth right now. Very, very new and still a lower high, even on your short-term time frame. So not anything to really put too much weight on. What's up, Alberta? Jacques? Sorry, man. I'm just butchering your name all the way around. Apologies. Luna, 4 hour, 12 hour daily. Okay, let's check this one out. Curious to see where this one's landed for today. Maybe we record one on this one as well. Yeah, it looks a lot more like Bitcoin than other things. Yeah, not going to be one of the bullish altcoins here. Now, do I think that it's going to spike again and grind out this $40 territory? Probably yes. Or I don't have a chart on this one. That's I must be on a different exchange than usual. Anyways, let's record this one. Here we have Terra Luna symbol LUNA versus the dollar, and we have kind of a similar chart to Bitcoin on the short-term timeframes. Ranging on the lows right now. Would be looking for a nice move to the upside, back above about 45.25. So that'd be a validation of a good short-term move. And to the downside, I don't really look for new major lows on this one to get printed. And when I say new major lows on this one to get printed, I mean like down into the mid-30s, like 36, 37 bucks minimum, until you actually close a 4 hour delta below about 40.5 bucks. Until then, sideways when this region is more likely to probably give a bounce in the next few days than not. However, short term, do I think that it's going to come back down and grind out your low somewhere around low $40 region? Probably yes. At that point though, I would be on the lookout for any sort of bullish divergence forming on the 4 hour right here, as we got extremely low all the way down to like a 19 read. So creating some divergence between price action and the momentum oscillator right there is going to be, you know, somewhat simple or somewhat easy, I do suppose. But that would also imply that we do close a little bit lower. Just don't want to see this area actually break on a closing base right here, 40.5 bucks. We'll see volatility cooling off of extremes right there. So more likely to kind of trade sideways and probably bounce after the next test to the downside right here. Again, if it actually does break, I am looking for big moves down, somewhere around 36, let's call it, give or take. And on the daily, it doesn't look super strong right here, to be honest with you. All momentum oscillators are actually in a more bearish posturing long term, so not great. That is going to destroy a lot of the more higher term time frame analysis. Obviously, 5 day also concerning. We do have multiple drives of bearish divergence coming off the highs right there. Typically speaking, that actually would have a target somewhere down around here at about $36 to $37. Curious to see if momentum oscillators over here also agree with that, or if they are, whoops, loon, my bad. Or if they disagree. Yeah, 4 hours looks going to be up right here. So again, probably more bouncy than not. Hourly flip-floppy, but 45 is going to be the magical number right there. It's shifting relatively soon, however, in the next 21 minutes, 12 are going to pop back above 46.5, and daily, what are you doing? Above 51. So, at best, short-term range bound, above 45 and a quarter. I do look for this one to put in a nice rally somewhere back around about 48, 49 bucks. But I do look at this as, leading into your next lower high. As long as you're operating on lower highs, and where would that be below? $51. So above $51, I do confirm this as a bear trap, and I do essentially just look for new all-time highs, because this is still one of the better charts. But even with this being one of the better charts, this thing can retrace. This thing could theoretically retrace all the way down to $21, and it'd still be in a weekly uptrend. Like it's very good long term. Just short term. Could it see a tumble if those conditions are met? Yes. But first things first, I'd like to see it bounce and then come back to it after that. So hopefully that was helpful. And there you go for Luna, sir. Cool, man. JW says, hi there. Do you mind taking a look at banned USD? Sure. I'm glad to see that there's no boofering today. By the way, what's up, Phil? So nice to see you over there, man. Dumpy. We got some dumpity pumpities. Let's see. Banned over here. And yeah, this one not strong. Not among the strong ones. You might even call this one weak. Does it come back down and grind out the current low structure over here, somewhere around about 6.25 to 635 region? I'm kind of leaning towards that, man. This would not be my pick. Yeah, 5 day put in a lower high right here. Weekly, same thing. Not good, man. Definitely not good. So if anything, I'm looking for this one to grind out its current lows. Any sort of a closure below $7, and then yeah, send it back down to 630 or so. Until then, you know, the hopium is that you'll see a move back above 810, and then I'd be looking for a little bit of extension back up to 875. After that, I mean, really hard to be bullish on something like this as long as you're below about 940. I don't think that today is the day for shit coins. You're probably not going to like me saying that, but gotta call a spade in this market right here. You know, maybe get a low right there, but that is more hopium than anything else, man. No, this is not a great chart right here, to be honest with you. We've actually seen some good charts today, and this would not be it. What's up, Bullfrog Fire? Elsa's intro reminds me of the cousin If from Adam's Family. There you go, man. Hey, and thank you for that nice positive mesh amount. Much love to you, sir. Robert Ford says, you look like dentist in the thumbnail. Do I? Maybe I should put on some what are they called? Scrubs? Why do they call them scrubs, by the way? AVAX 6 and 12 hour. Yeah, let's check this one out. I remember this one was one of the strong ones. So to juxtapose this one against banned, we should definitely do that. Yeah, and this would be definitely one of the strong ones right here. Closed on new optimized yet again. Powerful, girthy green dildos on AVAX yet again here. Beautiful, man. Just fucking beautiful. Here we have Avalanche symbol AVIX following through off of our analysis from really the last few weeks here. But yesterday, a very important day as we get our first closure above $100, it looks like. Yeah, our first closure above $100, which is initiate moves all the way up to our next sort of technical targets, 115 kind of short term here, and then more medium term looking at about $1.23. At which point I would be looking for a bit of a consolidation after that, perhaps on your medium and lower term timeframes. Short term timeframes like 4 hour are still just kind of trending here. However, I imagine we are very likely creating some divergences. Yeah, an ever so slight amount of divergences. So short term, could it pull back down to 99 bucks? Perhaps yes, but I'm bullish on this one long term. Looking for a continuation here as long as you're closing daily dildos above about 93.5 now. We do see 4 hour BBWP is working off extremes, so probably, you know, likely to kind of ebb and flow here a little bit, consolidate, but all higher term timeframes are looking at continuation. So just depends what time frame you're on, obviously. Daily, 5 day, and weekly all looking good as far as I'm concerned. I only invalidate that again below $93.5. Let's go over here, check it out, and see if this agrees with what I'm saying, and maybe we judge those next targets. Yeah, daily stocks remain up as long as above $1.0425. You can maybe even use that as a bit of a short-term pivot. Of course, it's not financial advice, I'm not a financial advisor, but that would be a little more aggressive, to be fair. 5 day stays up as long as above 90.5, and 2 day. Is that one closing today? It is closing today. We'll turn down below about $1.0225. I might even go as far as saying that I would actually not wait for 93.5 to get hit before looking at this one is likely to fail its current level. I'd probably say actually like more like $100 on a daily right there. Yeah, we will see a lot of things turn down. I don't necessarily think that's what's happening right here, but always have to offer up an invalidation condition because, well, nothing's 100% guaranteed. So hopefully that's helpful. And there you go for AVAX, sir. Nice one, man. Bimmer says, morning, bruh. Who made that sick intro? A good friend from a long time ago. Unfortunately, he's no longer with us, actually. Let's see. Oh, I see. Here's my new good friend, though, Mr. Faraz. What the fuck are you sending me right now, man? What the hell? Wait. Holy shit, that is cool. Oh my god, man. Guys, we are going to be living in these metaverses very soon. Very fucking soon. Elsa says no, but I disagree, sir. I'm going to take a sip of this water, and then we'll get on to Mr. Damien. We already looked at CRO, though. Yeah, man, we already got a CRO right there, and I recorded it, so I'll upload it a little bit later. So all good on that one. Mr. Fuckro says, hey, Mr. Sunshine. Good morning, sir. No sun here in Helsinki, though. We'll tell you that. Nice picture at Hey, man, thank you. You look like Sun from Teletubbies. I don't know if that's good or bad, but whatever. Any info about Luna? Where are we moving now? Yep, we already did that one. Please look at my herpes, says George Goin. It's getting really bad. Well, I am a doctor after all, and of course, I would not want you to suffer from such diseases, but it's going to be difficult to do through the internet, my friend. South Charlotte Services, appreciate that, but feel free to have a message as well, or tag Elsa with that, and we can get back to that.
Can you mention 22 because he's trying to send
Yeah. Okay. Okay, so Legend 22, man. Again, we're still having some issues with your message. It's probably, look, if YouTube is not posting your message, you probably don't have to worry because it's probably not getting like paid for it. I can't imagine that YouTube would auto moderate a message and then also take the money. That'd be pretty dirty. Oh, there's no message on it. Okay, so what you're gonna have to do, Legend 22, is just repost the message, please rephrase it so that you can get around the YouTube automod and then tag Elsa instead of just like getting mad at her. That would be good. Anyways, Venus Jane wants to look at XRP. Also, hi from my girlfriend Danica. Good morning, Danica, or good afternoon, wherever you might be from. XRP daily, weekly. Okay, cool. Oh man, Danica, I got some bad news for you though. Your boyfriend's in some shitcoins over here. And anyways, actually did have a nice little pump up there in the it looks like overnight. But overall, not one of the strong ones, definitely one of the weak ones, just kind of hanging at the lows. I imagine I probably charted this one for the daily, or did I? Maybe the weekly in this case. Anyways, that's a pretty swift rejection right there at about $1.14, $1.15. Now, here's the thing. If this thing actually can close today above about $1.12, it actually will confirm some hidden bullish evidence right here. It's a phantom drive, so I wouldn't really put too much weight on it, but I would be looking for maybe another retest somewhere around, your upper teens in this case. However, this one I do still look at as not one of the strong ones, and actually certainly relatively weak as long as we are below about $1.28. Below about $1.22. And I wouldn't get excited about this one long term as long as you're below about, what is this, 131. Any sort of a daily or weekly closure above there. And yeah, this thing actually does have a lot of room to run, even for Ripple here. But man, so many failures at this major precipice right here. Usually doesn't give me too much confidence in something like this, but hey, we do see that there are a few indications that we could be, that depending on today's daily closure, we'll have a chance. I'd first need to see it get back up about $1.22 on the next bounce. If it can do that, that'd be your first good signal. And then, maybe over the next week or so, if it can get above about $1.31, that's where I'd actually be looking for the big move. Until then, I would get very bearish on this one, looking for, moves back down below $1, somewhere probably down to like 90 cents or low 90 cents. If you do see any sort of a daily closure below 105 that is. Until then, I think that I guess you will have a chance today. I mean, that is what the indicator is saying right now, but be aware of where those pain points are, because this is, well, fair enough. Be aware of where the pain points are. I mean, you still got, your rise and lows coming in from here. So that would be the hoping right there. And hey, it is an ascending triangle. So, as long as that level does hold, technically speaking, it should have a higher probability of breaking out to the upside than the downside. But that's kind of the order of operations of what I'm looking at right there. What's up, Gemini Athlete MMA? MATIC 4-hour and daily. Okay, let's see where the old Polygon is at right now. Where is this one? This one, another one that just had a beautiful setup and did not want to take advantage of it, I suppose. Let's see where we at. I guess I charted this one maybe for the weekly. Yes, indeed it was. Let's chart this one for, should we chart this for the daily, or what time frames were you asking about? 4-hour and daily. Yeah, let's do this. And should we record this one? Should we not record this one? Yeah, we should record this one. Here we have MATIC, Polygon versus the dollar. Short term, would be looking for this one to come back down and grind around its current lows, whether that be like $1.50, or sorry, $1.50 or $1.55. I don't really have a strong opinion on, but at that point, I would be cognizant that you very likely are going to create some sort of regular bullish evidence. By the contrary, though, we do have some hidden bearish evidence going on right now. That is why I would be saying, short-term downside, probably, $1.50 or so. I wouldn't necessarily be looking for this one to actually like fully break down, as long as you're closing 4-hour deltas above about 145. If that condition is met, I suppose, then I would be looking for big moves down to like 135 or so. Until then, I guess I give it a chance. The weekly still does hold its major areas. And the daily, we still have an uptrend right here. Where's our last higher low? Our last low was over here, I guess. Jesus Christ, man. Yeah, I guess it does. But man, it's like it's had so many chances here. Probably more likely to bounce here. So while I do think that short term it comes back down around here, I would be cognizant that if it does close anywhere around here, you will have some bullish divergence. At that point, I'd be looking over the next few days for it to flip back around and retest somewhere around about $1.75. Here's the thing though, long term, can't really get too excited about it as long as you're below about $2. Above $2, this one is obviously a macro breakout, and it's not just gonna be new highs, but massively new all-time high breakout. But until then, just be aware of where the major areas are for your time frames. Short term, again, very, very short term, pull it back down to yesterday's low. very likely a bounce around there, probably easy to watch Bitcoin in this case. And then, well, hopefully the bounce over the next week or two gets back above $2. And if that happens, then I'd be happy to be a bull on this one and be looking for massively new all-time highs. Until then, I mean, what's the other hoping right here? You know, you do have this trend line coming in here. I really am not a humongous fan of diagonal trend lines, but it does represent trend in this case. And not only is that available to you, but long-term, you know, it would just be one massive reaccumulation in this ascending triangle. So, you know, you can still make some excuses for it, but below $1.45, that's where that whole narrative starts to fall apart, and it's time to really prepare for some actual downside there. Hopefully that was helpful, and there you go for Polygon, sir. Nice one, man. Azure says, hey, Crown, any chance to have a look at LRC? Yes. So this is Loopring. We called a high on this one like a week or two ago, and I would still be calling a high on it. Should we record a video on this one? Yes. Okay, so here we have Loopring, symbol LRC. I wanted to follow up on this one because we called a top on it about a week ago. It looks like, yeah, I think it was somewhere around the 10th, 11th that we called a top on this one, the last video that we did. And I would still be sticking with that call right here. We did have extreme conditions on daily BBWP, so volatility likely to contract through here. Would be looking for this one to make a nice leg down towards 215-ish region and try for a bounce there. Short term, if we go down to a 4 hour, not strong. You know, a little bit of a downturn right here on the 4 hour. Obviously we have declining highs, which is not great. Got the same lows, so technically a bit of a descending triangle. Not that I would put too much weight on this one, just because it's, well, I just wouldn't put too much weight on this one. But I do think that this one will test the low $2 region and try for a bounce there. Would I be calling like a major low there? Probably not. Probably not. I think this one's probably topped out for a while at best, but I would be looking for a bounce around there, anywhere around $2, even to 210-ish region. And hey, if the bounce gets bought back on up above 3.25, which is a fucking humongous move, probably not very likely, but hey, if it happened, I would get bullish for new all-time highs on this one. You know, in that case, I guess I'd be targeting moves towards $5 plus, I guess. Kind of crazy there, but again, I think that this one's a lot more likely to trade sideways and down from here. You'll see your bounces along the way, obviously. But what are other higher term timeframes looking like? Yeah, 5-day looks like a major high. I wouldn't be surprised to see this one below $2 in the next month or so. I think this one's topped out for a while. I mean, basically, you've just kind of retested your 2017 highs, and well, it's very likely to pull back from there, and one of your bigger pullbacks in this case. Just curious to see how it's looking like over here as well. I imagine they're probably going to be downside angled. Yes, they are. Daily Stokes down as long as below $3. 5-day is actually not even down yet, but it's still up above $1, which is rather interesting. 2-day, which is closing tonight, will be downside angled below about $3. So yeah, I'm a lot more downside angled on this one on the higher term timeframes. Lower term timeframes, you're probably going to see a bounce after the next grind out to the low $2 region. Hopefully that was helpful. And there you go for our Loopring, sir. BK says CVX versus Ethereum 4 hour daily weekly. Sure. All right, CVX. It sounds like BMS, like BMX. How does that song go? Man, that was like one of the best shows from back in the day. Holy shit. One of the best shows, and no one even knows it. And they fucking discontinued it after 3 seasons. Why do all of the best shows get discontinued? Maybe they're not the best shows. 4 hour daily weekly. There ain't no weekly. Or actually, there probably is a weekly because that's a 5-day. Toppy, if anything, man. Short-term bouncy, long-term toppy. Yeah, short-term bounce here, 4 hour, very likely back up to 0.0062 region. Might even see that extend all the way up to 6.8. But I would be looking at this and interpreting this as a top, especially as long as you're below about 0.008 in this case. Oh, I already have it charted out right here. But short-term bouncy, yeah. Long-term, I don't really have an opinion on like the super long term. Obviously, it's still, you know, an uptrend here. And do we have hidden bullish evidence formulating? We do. So yeah, short term it is bouncy, very likely bounce back up. If it can reclaim 0.008, then I guess I would be looking for new highs. Personally speaking, I think that this one ranges at best for a while, and at worst probably breaks down after a bit of a short-term bouncy there. Danny says, can we look at Gitcoin? Okay, this is a new one for me, GTC. All right. Okay, let's see. All right. Not good, man. Fucking shitty. Shitty Gitcoin. What is this thing? Well, whatever it is not good. I'd be looking for another retest of your lows here at about 765, 770-ish region. Probably tries for another bounce there. I'd be looking for like a decent sized bounce if you can carry the bounce back up over the next couple days above 845. If that condition is met, I'd be looking for this one to bounce up somewhere around about 9 to 920-ish region. But I do not like charts like this as long as you're operating on lower highs, and your last lower high is coming in at about $10. So as long as you're below there, still long-term not great, but short-term, you know, I'd give it a chance, I guess, on a balance. You know, if it does, for whatever reason, reclaim that region, then yeah, I'd be looking for it to pop back up around its September highs. Until then, definitely one of the weaker ones right here. Not my favorite chart of the day, I'll put it that way. And short-term, very likely grinds out the lows before the next sort of short-term bounce. Yeah, man, no, at least in my opinion, no, like when you see the market kind of hanging out the lows like this for Bitcoin, you don't want to pick the weak coins, at least in my opinion. In my experience, you want to find the strong ones like AVAX, because those ones are the ones that are likely to do best if and when Bitcoin gets its actual bounce, which we haven't really seen like the bounce just yet, just very short-term time frame bounces. So not anything too interesting. What's up, Noah97? Audio USD, is this breakout sign of bullishness? Usually a breakout is bullish, yes. Let's see what you're sort of referencing over here, though, because I think you answered your own question. Is this breakout a sign of bullishness? Okay, I'll tell you what's not a sign of bullishness is this massive wick that we see on this one. I don't like how it's giving up so much of these gains so soon here. So let's see. It pumped up today, just today alone, about 83.5%. So far, holding on to 26.5% of that. That's not great. Now, of course, it's not a bad sign that it pumped up here, obviously, but where would its breakout actually be? Its breakout is with a daily closure above 309, and this is why closures are so important right here, because obviously if you're just looking for wicks, you know, you would have looked at this as a breakout, you probably would have market bought, and then boom, go shish kebab your fucking Angus and make a popsicle stick out of your asshole, and now it's no longer breakout. But if you look for a closure above that region, then that's at the point where I'd actually really be looking for this one to go. Anyways, I should actually record a video on this one because it's probably popular today. Here we have audio versus the dollar. Nice move, of course. However, I do have some concerns with this. When you pump up 80% or so, or 83% or whatever it is, and then only hold on to about 25% of that almost immedately, that's not really a sign of strength. And this is why I do operate off closures rather than wicks, as you did technically break above the wick, you broke above the range highs on a wick, but not on a closing basis. So while I still think that this one would technically have a chance to break out, I mean, this is like not bad. It's better obviously than going down, but I still would not call it a breakout until you actually close above 308. And at that point, I'd be targeting basically your prior all-time highs, and then very likely breaks out to new all-time highs after that. I mean, this is, you know, a long-term very good chart. I don't really have anything really bad to say about it, especially as long as you're above about 235. But for right now, it's very imperative to watch today and tomorrow's closure. If it can close above that 307, 308 region, yes, I'm looking for big moves around your prior all-time highs, and then very likely continuation onwards and forwards to new all-time highs. As this one, you know, just okay. Volatility is ticking up right here, as this one does put in a major and higher low, so that's good. And daily RSI, what do we see over here? Nothing actually, but it is reaching back for the bullish control zone, so it's more, you know, more better than not. Daily Jewel's giving us a non-signature right there, so that is unhelpful in this case. It's not really a bullish signature, not necessarily a bearish signature. And then weekly, I mean, this is kind of your higher low right here as well. So I do favor this one long term. It's just, has it actually broken out yet? No. And be aware of where the invalidation is, because if this one does come back down below there, that would be very concerning. That would be very fucking concerning, and does imply that this thing would probably fall down all the way to, you know, your mid $1 region. But until then, I think it's going to have a chance here. Just need to see that condition met, and then yes, we can talk about, you know, major new targets to the upside. Let's actually plot them out right now. Just want to see where they might be. You know, $4 would be the next sort of short-term target on a break of that region, but long-term, you know, months down the road, probably looking at like 5.5, maybe even $6 if that condition is met. Again, long-term, but yeah, hopefully that's helpful. And there you go for audio, sir. Sweet. Cool. Bitnik says Wonderland time. Okay, no time frames given, no base pairing shown, so I'm just gonna roll with it over here. You must be new here. That's all good, man. I guess we have to look at it versus either Bitcoin or Ethereum. I'm gonna go to Bitcoin in this case, and it's actually very good versus Bitcoin. I think we looked at this one yesterday. It's in a general uptrend here. It's not really moving all that much, but this is obviously more good than bad, and I would be looking for this one to work its way back up towards, what is that number? 1 million Satoshis, is that right? Or is that 100,000? No, that's 1 million Satoshis or so. I'd really only get super excited about this one for like a big breakout, in this case to probably your prior all-time wick highs, and maybe, you know, new all-time closing highs after that as well, above about, I guess is this 105 million? Something like that, man. These numbers are getting too big, and I'm too dyslexic for this shit. Short term, you know, where would I get concerned about this one? Obviously below about 68 sorry, 680,000 satoshis, starts to lose its good signatures right there. But very, very illiquid it looks like. I really despise wicks like this. It's not a good sign, but you know, for what it's worth, it's okay. It's okay for what we have right there. What's up, Martin Hunt? Good morning to you. Can you look at Algo? Yes, this is your baby right now, and I think this one actually had quite the move. Quite the move indeed. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, and this is not a sign of strength. Again, getting a big move up there and then popping all the way back down. But I'd still give it a chance just like the other chart. And let's record on this one too. All right, let's get rid of this. It's no longer relevant for this one. And let's, yeah. Okay, cool. All right, here we have Algorand, symbol ALGO. This one's actually quite a nice one for me to follow up on, as we recorded a lot of videos on it. I think it was a month ago, or sorry, not a month ago, but a couple weeks ago, saying, hey, looking at the end of this month, November to December, looking for moves somewhere around about $3 or so, of which looks like we got that overnight. In fact, $3. Got a lot of shit for that one, but well, first off, people were judging a little bit too soon for something that's, you know, intended to be a month or two away. But more importantly, hey, there it is right there. Anyways, for right now, it's kind of similar to another chart that we looked at today. While you do have technically a wick high, a wick higher high and also a wick above your range highs, we don't have a closure above there. And this is why closures are so important. So I still need to see this thing actually close above 316 before I get excited about it. And at that point, I would look for a sustained rally all the way up to $3 yet again, you know, in the next few weeks to follow after that condition is met. For right now, coming all the way back down to these regions, not a great sign for the short term. If we go down to the lower term timeframes, I really don't like the selling pressure right there, to be honest with you. But I would not invalidate it in this case, and I would not say that it's like, you know, bearish and likely to, you know, make majorly new lows below about $1.55 until you do close, you know, at least a 4-hour dildo on new lows below about 155. Below there, yeah, this thing probably gets shattered down to 1.25, 130ish. But until that happens, you know, I'd still give it a chance right here. I mean, it's in a better posturing than not, obviously, and well, I guess we'll just have to wait until like the next few ending days here to see if it actually clears that level or not. If it does, great. If it doesn't, well, sideways in that range is still overall more better than not, but I just don't want to see it break down. Daily Stokes have actually not even crossed up during this whole move, and will not cross up as long as we're closing below 230. 4-hour is gonna freshly cross up above 197, which it is actually below right now as well. So a little bit of waiting there too. Buy daily is doing what? We'll turn back up above 261. And I am still seeing a lot of concerning things on this one. Really need to see it maintain at least the lower boundary of this region, about 155, 156, and preferably for me to get excited, still need to see it close above 216. But hey, there you go. There's your one-off spike and back down again, I guess. Anyways, hopefully that was helpful. And there you go for Algorand, sir. And I think you also asked about a 4-hour too. What did we look at over here? Bullish divergence off that low. Massive fucking move to new highs. Not always going to be like that, by the way, but pretty damn good one right there, to be fair. Not bad, man. Not bad. Let's see. Super Guru Lily says, can we have a look at Gala BTC on the 1 and 4 hours? Sure. I remember this one was really good in like the last couple days. So let's see where it's at right now. It's still pretty, still pretty good as far as the result goes, but I think that we are starting to find a little bit of a short-term high. Daily is good. You didn't ask about it. You didn't ask about a daily. Short-term timeframes like an hourly, I do think very likely have found a high and do trade a little bit further south from here, somewhere around 290 satoshis, maybe in a little bit lower than that to 269, somewhere around there is where I'm looking for the next bounce. Daily still bullish long-term, but we're working off extreme conditions right here on 4-hour BBWP. We don't necessarily bearish divergence, but man, that thing got fucking high right there. Hourly, we do have a bit of bearish divergence. So again, I'm looking for a bit of sideways and down here, probably bounces around 290 or so. I guess I'd be looking for continuation if you do see an hourly closure, even above about 420 to 422 region. Until then, short-term corrective, long-term, I'm going to like this chart long-term. I think that it will continue long-term, but that's not necessarily what you're asking. So I think maybe it's not relevant to you. The Real G Squared says, is there a crown NFT with emphasis on the hair yet? I actually do have some NFTs from my former artist, which for my hair, the hair is a lot more normal looking there. Yeah, you know, maybe if Froz is listening, he might be interested in doing that. The fucking bird's nest, huh? How about that? Like all different sort of animals in my hair. That'd be great. Animal hair. Yes, there we go. Yeah, no, you are good at making dildos on paint, sir. That is very true. You can go check out Elsa's dildo collection at her OpenSea, I guess. But yeah, but no, technically I do not. In fact, I haven't even spoken about my NFTs there like ever. So they're hidden, man. They're hidden. Although someone found them. Someone fucking found them somehow. Like I've never spoken about them on here ever. And I don't know how you'd even potentially find them to begin with. Someone actually found one of them. Jay says, hello, sir. Hello, Mr. Sir. Could you check out Visa? Yeah, let's look at a real stock here. That would be good. Visa, okay. And you're saying long-term, weekly and monthly. Oh my God, my ear finally just popped a little bit. Oh, this is good. I think I wrecked my ear the other day. I would put like a Q-tip in it. And ever since then, it's been like really painful actually. No blood or anything like that, but God damn, man, like they need a warning things on those fucking Q-tips. Yeah, this is a top right here. This is very likely a top right here. If you're on like the weekly and monthly, you're saying, oh, you are holding back if your entry is at 216, soon to be father, need moolah. Sounds like you need to pay rent, man. I think it's going to bounce here. You probably have a local loan. It probably pops back up and fills the gap at 212, but that's actually below your entry, man. You basically bought the top of the redistribution right there. There is nothing even like daily bullish about this as long as you're below 220. Well, I do think it'll bounce here and maybe get lucky and it gets bought back on up above here. That's at the point where I would say, hey, you probably got a good position. Until then, I think this one's long-term toppy, man. Like this is a head and shoulders top right here, and you're just getting your first bounce. And yes, it's very likely to bounce here. Very, very likely to bounce here. But looking at the monthly, I wouldn't be surprised to see this thing work its way down to like 180, 170 over the next like half year to a year. I mean, it's going to take a long time. This is a monthly after all, but we do have 1, 2, 3 drives of bearish divergence off the highs. We got a really bad, okay, this is actually a great jewel sell signal on the monthly, which almost I never see. The last one we got one was this correction over here, by the way, from top to bottom, 37, 38%, which in traditional markets, that's called a crash. In cryptocurrency land, that's just like your bull market pullback, I guess. Some bullshit like that. So yeah, very likely to bounce here short term. Hey, maybe you get lucky and it gets bought back up above 220. At that point, I think you got a nice major low in and you're probably fine long term. But this is not financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor. And to be honest, this looks like shit. So yeah, not great, man. Even the weekly jewel is getting a continuation signal right there too. Need moolah. Well, maybe you bought like some puts on that, maybe. Hopefully. Hey, what's up, Jack? Ethereum, Bitcoin, 4-hour daily. Yeah, I'm always interested to see this one, man. See where this one's at today. How's it held up in the last 24 hours? Which one's outpacing? Who's outpacing who? Yeah, and Ethereum still remains with this good posturing here. Again, I still like it as long as it's above about 0.69. So I guess that's 69 million. Is that 69 million? Hold on. 1, 2, 3. 4, 5, 6. No, it is 6.9 million satoshis. Why was the other one different? I don't know. Anyways, do we have hidden bullish divergence on that last low? No, we do not, because it's not a higher low actually. Now that I look at it, it's a lower low. Anyways, I do still like it as long as it's above 6.9 million satoshis. Below there, I have to be calling this one, big downs to 6.5, 6.6 region. Until then, short-term timeframes like a 4-hour are showing a little bit of hidden bearish divergence. So I think it's going to, similar to Bitcoin, retest around the lows. However, once it retests around the lows, I'd be cognizant that it very likely does put in, or potentially will put in some bullish divergence come off those lows. We do actually have some already forming right here. So if you see another drive around here alongside an ever so slightly closing lower low, but not breaking this region on a closure, that being 6.9, I would be looking for the bounce come from there. And, maybe this is some sort of a falling channel right here, which are typically more bullishly resolved. Still the same thing to say about it as yesterday. I don't really get too excited about it as long as below 7.4 million satoshis. Above there, this thing looks really, really great. And to be fair, I mean, all higher term time frames on this thing are still great. I mean, I don't really have any major concerns with this. But here's the thing, man, and here's why Ethereum Bitcoin pairing does matter, is that if this does turn out bearish, well, if it turns out bearish, then it's most likely that the market's going to turn out bearish as well, because we pretty much always see Ethereum Bitcoin pairing bullish when the general market's bullish versus the dollar, and vice versa for bearish. So this one actually kind of matters a lot, in my opinion, and a very good allegory to the rest of the market. Let's see. Pisa. Hello, Pisa. Good morning to you as well. Could you check out CHZ? Okay. All right, CHZ. All right. All right, Chiliz. And let me see what time frames you're looking at. Love the streams. Hey, thanks, man. I appreciate that. I love them too. I quite enjoy them. 8-hour and weekly. Okay, interesting. I am actually not a humongous fan of the 8-hour, but I do like the 6-hour. We can look at the 8-hour at your request, though. Not great right here. I think at best it probably gives you another bounce at 46 cents or so. Maybe easier to see on a 4-hour. Yeah, same sort of setup as we got on Bitcoin, right? or is it? Yeah, you know, as long as you don't take out the last 4-hour RSI low, probably puts in some bullish evidence right here. And, you know, at that point, I'd be looking for a decent bounce, maybe back up to like 51, 52 cents or so. I do have concerns about this thing as long as you're below 53 cents, even on a 4-hour closure. But, you know, if you want, well, I guess that was a bullish look of it before. I guess we kind of hit that anyway. So let's rechart it for what we have now. You did get a little bit of an SFP right there now, didn't you? I'm going to chart that right there. And I'm going to chart this. Hey, I'm going to chart this right here. There we go. I just don't want to see it close below this region right here, 46 cent, let's call it. Or sorry, no, below that wick low right there, 45 cent. Below 45 cent, I do look for this one to retrace quite a fair bit towards 42 to 43 cent. That is your 4-hour. Daily, not terrible on a daily, but if it did come back down to low 40s, I'd be looking for a bounce there. Again, long term, I mean, this is fine here long term. It's just, do we got to pull back down to low 40s first or not? Momentum also does do say it's a little more likely, yes. Perhaps after another short-term bounce here. If the short-term bounce does reclaim, what was it, like 54 cents, then I'd actually just be bullish and I'd say that this is your next major low. But until then, you know, daily is a little more downside angle, to be fair. Dan says, hey, Crown, I hope all is well. I think all is well, except for my fucking ear, man. Like, it's actually rather painful, you know. Anyways, can you take a look at Tilray daily? Sure. TLRY. Okay, I remember last we looked at this, it was bouncy, and we got a bit of a bounce right there. Now it is short-term toppy. Man, this thing is a pile of steaming hot garbage now, isn't it? Short term, I do think it comes back down at least to about $12 and tries for a bounce there. I would call this whole bounce a failure and likely to retest your $10 lows if you do close a 4-hour dildo or even just an hourly below about 11.5 bucks. That's where the big problems are. Until then, you know, short term, could it come back down there and bounce there? Yes, but I'd want to see that first. Any sort of a closure though below 11.5 and big problems, very likely retesting 10 bucks after that. And again, remember, this is on log scale. This is on log scale. This is on linear. This is a garbage chart is what it is. But hey, you know, in cryptocurrency land, when you see something like this, you're like, oh shit, it's under whale accumulation, bitch. We're going to the fucking moon. Cause I mean that, you know, you do see your pump dumps on that, but I wouldn't get long-term excited about this thing as long as you're below about 30 bucks, which is very far away right now. So I think at minimum, it takes its time on its lows. Let's see. Okay, I see Legion now, but has he gotten back to you yet? Has Legion gotten back to you?
Yes.
He has? What is he looking? What is he looking for? Just read it to me.
HTR.
Oh, HTR. Okay, Hathor.
I don't know. Do we go below $1.60?
Do we go below $1.60? I'm guessing that's like your entry. We can record a video on this one. It's actually interesting here. It's one of the more strong ones. Yeah, HTR. So this is Hathor. Here we have Hathor, symbol HTR versus the dollar. The question is, do we go back down below 161? There's no way to answer that question because always there's going to be some probability to do that. Now, I would say that it's not necessarily my first analysis on this, especially as long as you are above about, what is it, about 170. 170 is kind of my big pain point on this one, even for the short-term timeframes. Below there on a 4-hour closure, yeah, I do think that this one will fall apart. But for what it's worth, this is acting as one of the strong names that we've seen today and the days prior in this market, where most things are kind of hanging out their lows. This one's basically making new all-time highs and doing it on volume as well. So I do like this. Anyways, back onto the short-term timeframes right here. I'm just looking at this as a consolidation at the highs and generally good. As long as you're between about 211 and what was it, like that 170 number. I'm just going to move this right here to chart it for this time frame, something like this. I actually look at this as a bullish consolidation most likely. But short-term, I do think it will come down around there, around 170 to 175 region, anywhere around there. And I'll be looking for a higher low at that point. Short-term timeframes like 4-hour do not have any divergences going on right here. So it's not terrible, but it's definitely not bad. Just short term, I do think it comes down. Hourly, short term, extremely short term, bouncy, but this is a bit of a head and shoulders distributed pattern right there. I'm looking for this one to come down a little bit and try for a bounce around this region. If you see it bounce well at around, you know, low 170s or mid 170s, that would be really, really good. But yeah, I do think it will test down around there. If you start to lose 170, especially on a 4-hour closure, then you got some problems. And at that point, not only do I think you'll come down below 161, I think you'll come down to like 140. Until then, you know, one of the better ones. And again, look at your weekly right here. Weekly is just consolidation at the high. I think this one still takes some time, you know, maybe over the next few weeks, but wouldn't be surprised to see this one actually gun for new all-time highs, maybe like early to middle of December in this case. And if we go over here our momentum also, because I imagine that maybe we have some interesting things going on. Daily is doing what? Is going to pop back up above 219. So again, short term it is corrective here. Weekly remains up as long as above 114. So yeah, long term still good. 4 hours up as long as above 194. I don't think that that's going to hold true right now. We're actually below. So yeah, very likely to turn back down and grind out its current lows. So hopefully that was helpful. And there you go for Hathor. And nice. Sweet. Let me take another sippy sip of this. Oh, there we go. All right, Slacker123 says Crown. Hey, thank you, man. I do appreciate that, but just regular Crown today. Render RNDR USD. Okay, the most bearish time frame, please. The most bearish time frame, please. All right, so you want a bearish analysis? Well, let's first see if it's actually bearish, because we've actually seen some decent ones today. This is pretty fucking good, man. This is not bearish chart right here on the weekly. Daily, not a bearish chart on the daily. Hourly, also not bearish. Maybe we go to the 5-minute. Here, let's see. We got a 5-minute local high, baby. We're coming down to $6. Look, man. Okay, so do I think that this one could put in a top right here? We are seeing some short-term toppy signals. Yes. Would I call this one bearish? Fuck no. This thing could come all the way down to 440, 450-ish region, and I'll still be long-term bullish on it. But I mean, we are hitting extremes here on weekly BBWP, as is the daily. So is it more likely to put in a top relatively soon here? Probably yes. Let's see if we hit like a major area. I'm sure that we have. Might have even shouted all the major areas. No, yeah, okay, yeah, I actually do think that we probably put in a top right here. All higher term timeframes are bullish, but I want to be very clear in stating this. I do think it's going to pull back from here over the next week or two, but I would not say that this is a bearish chart. This thing can pull back, like I said, to mid $4 region, and I'd still be bullish on it long term. But I do think that you're going to be. I think that the rally party is done for now. You've hit a major fib. You're at extremes here on all volatility indicators on all higher term timeframes for this one, respectively. I'd very likely be looking for it to grind out its current highs and then come down over the next couple of weeks, somewhere around, mid to low $4. That maybe is the area where I'd be looking for this one. But one of the best charts that we've seen today. It's just, after a move like that, you're very likely to trade a little bit sideways and down, of course. All right, cool. Let's see what else we got. Symbol MS. Hey, what's up, Symbol MS? It's been a while, man. ILV USD. Okay, daily and 4 hour. All right. ILV. This is Illuvium. Very. It is not Louis Vuitton. It is Illuvium. Very exotic name, but breaking down. Not great. 4 hour, kind of similar to all the other charts right here. Got rejected at the exact area that you'd be looking for on a 4 hour lower high. I'd probably look for it to grind out its current low structure in the low $1,000 territory, actually, and then probably try for a bounce from there. But here's the thing, man. This one can really move to the downside if it does take out its current lows at about a 980. Below there, I look for this one to come all the way down to 850. It's not great. So, if after you come back down around here and then bounce up and take out this 4 hour wick high at about 1138, that would look pretty damn good for reclaiming your prior range highs at about low 1200s, and this would start to have a lot greater of a formation. Until then, I do express my caution with it, but easy to watch Bitcoin, right? If Bitcoin puts in its bounce after a little bit of a sideways and downside move here, probably going to bounce with it and probably going to be okay, I suppose. Cool. Sweet. Let's see. John Doe says, hey sir, what's up, man? Which coins look better on the 1 day, VET or ENJ? God damn it. Can we just do one, man? Can we just do one? Not great. I mean, look, it's okay, but it doesn't stand out. ENJ, we can just briefly look at this one. I would actually like to do an analysis on V too, but I guess I'll just wait for someone to ask. This one looks better on the daily, but I mean, this one's obviously in a better posture in long term. It's around its prior all-time highs. This one, if it came down to 240, I'd really like it. I don't necessarily think that it's like destined to come down there. Short-term timeframes look like a local low and look like they want to trade back up towards 320. Yeah, ENJ is a better chart in my opinion. Anyways, the real G squared says Cardano versus Ethereum. Okay. Cardano versus Ethereum. All right. I mean, we can do that. Okay. Wow. Warning to all the Cardano hodlers. I love those video titles that you see. Warning to all the shitcoin hodlers. Yeah, it's a shitcoin. Warning to all the Cardano hodlers. Yeah, it's a shitcoin. Warning to all the fucking cunt fuck. Whoops. Uh-oh. Done goofed right there. Uh-oh. Here comes the YouTube police. Pick a superpower. My superpower would be not buying shitcoins in this case. I do think you're probably going to bounce off this low level right here, man, but this is the chart that it's not like it's a terrible chart. It's just I would not be interested in trading this chart ever. I understand like your purpose on this one. You want to find which one is going to be doing better than the other one over a long period of time. Well, in this case, I mean, we do have a breakdown here for Cardano versus Ethereum. So Ethereum more likely to be good long term. You said 6 hour. Okay, 6 hour. Yeah, we can do that. 6 hour. I'd be looking for another grind out of your current lows, like 42.50 or so. Not good, man. Not good. But I'd probably be looking for a bouncer as well. I don't think it's like ready to fully break down just yet. I think that one takes a few months actually. Hey, what's up, Mr. Peter Lackstrom? Welcome to the cave. Apologies for my very foul tongue today. Kissam Mix says Carderpia. Okay, sure, man. All right, we can do some Cardano over here too. I always imagine Crypto saying like, "I want to make fuck to the Bitcoin price," in like his German voice. I've actually met him in person. I really like him as a person. He's a very cool guy in person. Not at all like what you see in his videos. Anyways, what do we have right here? We have a shitcoin of a chart now, don't we? Here we have Cardano, Carderpio versus $1, still hanging at its lows. It's not the greatest chart right here. It has chance off of the bear trap, failed above 237, which was our major area right there, twice actually, and then back down to its prior range lows. I mean, it is a downtrend obviously, and you really can't get too excited about this thing or excited about it at all as long as you're below about 210 in this case. Above 210, yeah, it looks okay. Is it going to bounce off this 180 level yet again? Perhaps yes. I think it's going to matter like on the broad market here. Short term, very likely to retest it. But if it retests it, will we be creating any sort of bullish divergence? Probably yes. I mean, we got very, very low on 4-hour RSI on the 17th, so it wouldn't really take too much. And then at that point, I'd be looking for a bit of a bounce. Can bounce come back up to $2? Yeah, absolutely. This one is certainly relatively weak, however, and again, I express long-term caution, especially as long as below 210. And if you want to be a little bit more on the conservative side, then 237 would be the area to be beaten. Until then, a lot more downside signals here than not. And if I'm looking at the weekly, it's not a great chart, man. If Bitcoin shows any weakness, this thing very likely gets sent back down to about $1.50, maybe even lower than that. Like long term, like if Bitcoin shows any weakness, this thing is going to get absolutely hammered. But whether it bounces from its current like 180 area, if it comes down to that 150ish region, I actually do think that it will have a rather significant bounce. But man, this thing is this has got to be painful. This is just painful to watch, even for me. And I've never traded this thing. I don't hold this thing, nor do I care to long term, or at any point for that matter. Just ugly, man, just ugly. So hopefully that's helpful. And there you go for Cardano. Sweet, cool. Let's see. Greetings from Helsinki. Nice. All right. What's up, Mika Wolf? Moi indeed, sir. I know Helsinki stata tervestia. AVAX USD. We already got AVAX earlier. I recorded it as well. Generally good. Just want to see it continue to close above about $100 on the daily. As long as that condition is met, I do remain with, I believe it was like $120 to $125 target over the next few following weeks here. Let's see, Kevin Line. Good. Thank you for that, sir. But feel free to have a message as well. Oh, nice. Arbo. Okay. Scrubs are called scrubs because doctors scrub down before operations. Really? All right. Thank you for that, man. Appreciate that. Let's see. Gold in the hand says, please check out Gala and HXV. Just one at a time. We already looked at Gala, so we'll look at XHV. Haven Protocol. This one's probably gonna be good. This one's probably gonna be real good. Yeah, long term, not a humongous fan of it. Didn't really trade with the rest of the market back around its prior highs, but is it likely to bounce here? Probably yes. I really only get super concerned about this one I wouldn't say short term, but long term below about 1169. Below there, yes, this one very likely falls back down towards $9.50 to $9 even. Until then, I do look at anything above 1169 as long term good. I just suspect that short term it probably trades back down somewhere around there as we work off of extreme conditions over here, and short term timeframes more or less just sideways at best. But again, above 18.5, I'd be looking for this one to really go on a big run. Yeah, I'd actually like really, really good above there. Now, I don't think that's happening like right now or anytime soon. I think this one trades sideways in a range for a while before anything interesting. What's up, Symbol MS? He's back. Rune, 4-hour and daily. Sure. We got Rune. Elsa asked if Rune was like RuneScape, like the game, which I've never even played, and I'm a fucking nerd. So how do you know that? Anyways, Rune over here. Because all the bold plays it when you were at school. Really? You guys had games in Finland? Elsa grew up in the forest, by the way. Just so you know, she grew up in a town with like 500 people, or like somewhere around there. You know, I grew up in a city. Okay, I come from humanity. You come from the fucking forest. Like like what even are you? Anyways, Rune, you know, kind of similar to the last one. I'm not going to hate it, of course, as long as it's above $10 or 10.5 on a daily. I do think that you're probably going to retest that region a couple times here. Yeah, similar to Bitcoin, right? Probably test around the lows at about $10 to 10.25. Assuming that, you know, you do not close below, what exactly was it like? Let's just call it $10 even. It's very, very close right there, but somewhere around $10. Then I would be looking for a bullish evidence to be formed on a 4-hour RSI, and probably gives it a bit of a bounce back up, maybe $12 at most. I still would not get too excited about it long term, as long as you're especially below about $14 even. But you know, for what it's worth, if I'm going to give you the hopium right here, it'd be this, right? Well, I guess that would imply that we do come a little bit further south. So if you do break that $10 region, I would be looking for a nice move down to $9. It'd still be, you know, following the long-term uptrend, I suppose. But, you know, short-term corrective and sideways at best, in my opinion, after one more test of the lows. If you break that region, I do look for $9. But I mean, this is not a bad chart long-term. Like, that's kind of my point here. It's not a bad chart long-term, just short-term corrective and probably more bouncy than anything if I had to call it. So hopefully that's helpful. And there you go for Rune, sir. Gabriella Reno says solar chart. It's a new launch pad on Solana. Sure. And is that a female? Is that a lady? Oh shit.
Don't scare her.
Everyone act cool. Soul Razor. Sure. There ain't no history on this thing, ma'am. And it looks pretty shitty for the history that we do have. I don't really have an opinion on this thing. It's a little bit too new. If you put a gun in my head and said analyze it, crown or die, I'd say above 385. It's good. Probably going to rally quite a fair bit. Until then, I look for this one to retest lows. And when I say lows, I mean back down to like $2.50. It's a little bit too new for me to like put any legitimate analysis on. I don't really feel too confident on something like this. So welcome to the cave, ma'am. Unfortunately, I don't really have much to say about that. Anyways, Radu Stefan says, morning, sir. Good morning to you as well. Can you look at Hive? Okay. 4-hour and daily. I'm guessing I'm just going to type in Hive right here and pray for the best. And hey, there it is. All right, we got it. Not good. The prayers have been unanswered by Bula Jesus on the hourly, but on the daily, actually pretty damn good. Let's see. So you're on a 4-hour and a daily. Let's go down to the 4-hour first. Short-term bouncy, I'd be looking for it to bounce back up to $1. I only get concerned about this one and call it bearish below 88 cents. Until then, any sort of sideways and downside price action to 88 cents is okay. Just don't want to see that area actually close below, even on a 4-hour time frame. And long term, you know, you do have an uptrend here. Obviously, it's actually quite good long term. We're to get very excited about this one long term with a daily closure above $1.05, and then yes, I look for this one to go on another rally towards 123, and then perhaps in the following month or two, maybe even as much as $1.40 to $1.50. It's kind of crazy, but yeah, not bad here. I mean, this one actually holds its lows and rallies off them. It's actually, it's just, you know, wiki because I imagine it's liquid as fuck, but it's actually quite good. At least for what we can see right there. Just be aware of the invalidation because that one, you know, can get hit on the face as you know. Anyways, Gregory Dyke. Man, I'm going to get really moderated by YouTube right there. FET on the 4-hour and daily, sure. FET, okay, you say 4-hour and daily. Similar to some of the other charts that we've seen, ranging on, it's actually rather similar to ALGO here. Let me just chart it for what we have right here. Very, very simple chart actually. Here's your highs. Here's your here's where I get concerned on this one, below about 72.5 cents. Until then, sideways within this region is fine, is actually long-term good. If you do lose 72.5 cents, I do look for this one to drop back down to your prior wick lows, somewhere around 66. I'll still say kind of the same thing right there as well. Hopium on this one is something like this. You got your rise and bottoms on that, and it is a reaccumulation. But I still wouldn't get too excited about this thing as long as you're below about 95 and some odd change right there. Above there, I look for this one to retest its prior wick highs and probably beyond. And long term, this is a very good chart, very impressive chart long term. Anytime you see something like this where it just rallies up, comes back down, puts in a higher low, rallies up, same thing. That's good. That's great. That's really great long term. But I'd get very concerned about this one. Not necessarily saying that this is going to happen, but I get very concerned below 66 cents. At that point, I'd be looking for big moves down to 47 or 50 cents, basically. Until then, I think sideways at best. Maybe you pull an algo and you get scam wick to the upside. Until then, momentum losses are a little bit more downside postured here for what it's worth, but not anything too crazy. So I still think sideways there, really. Cool. Let's see. Mr. Hey, what's up, Shekar? Hopefully I'm saying that properly. And welcome to the cave, sir. Rebel Dia, what's up, man? Nice to catch you live. Yes, nice to see you live as well, sir. I am alive right now, I think. My ear doesn't feel like that. Man, my ear actually, like, man, what the fuck? Okay, seriously, watch out with Q-tips. Like, dude, I don't know if maybe I need a warning signal for Q-tips, but hey, if you're not aware, they're quite deadly in the ears. Block on the daily and weekly, please. And Fook Twitter. Yeah, Twitter's Twitter's a piece of work, man. But well, the way that I use Twitter is I just like I post something and then I run away. I don't look at it. Actually pretty good here. And hey, to follow up on this one from the other day, look at this. We actually are rapidly approaching that 9.9 cent region. This is an inverted head and shoulders right here. We do have a higher low and a higher high. Dare I say this one's in a good position right here. Technically speaking, you do want to see it break the neckline at 9.8 cents. And at that point, I'm looking for a nice move here, actually. Looking for a nice move, probably somewhere back around about 13 to 14 cents. Yeah, this one's very likely going to pull through, and I was probably looking for a more bearish resolution on this one the other day. I'm going to be wrong on that one, certainly. I only turned bearish on this one below 6.2 cent, and medium term doesn't even turn bearish until you get back below about 7.7 cent. This is good. Oh, sorry, no, we just test my target from yesterday. All right, cool, I'm vindicated. All right, great. That's good. Feel better about myself now, but it very likely is going to break to the upside here. This is good. Volatility increasing, momentum also are giving upside signals. I like it. Not bad, not bad. I'd still like to see it actually break, but sweet, nice. The Saturn Epoch says Rose USD, 1 hour and 4 hour, baby is mooning to the moon. All right, let me pull it up over here, and then I need to take another sippy sip of water. All right, here we go. Gregory Hunt says, never had a Twitter account in me life. Probably for the best, man. I can only handle like so much social media. And between like Instagram and Twitter and YouTube, that's it. No more. No fucking more, man. Rose over here. We see another altcoin that's actually looking pretty damn good. Another very good, actually. Daily RSI back in the bullish control zone. Daily Jewel about to give an upside signature right there, supported by DMI, and it is breaking above your range highs already. We got that confirmation yesterday. I'm bullish on this one as long as you're above 23 3/4, and we've already hit the first target on it. It looks like right here. Probably a bit of a short-term pullback. Yes, that's fine though. But even the hourly is just a general uptrend. I have no issues with that. 4 hours, same. Oh well, kind of a wiki right there, but still okay. I'll be looking for a little bit of sideways action here, and then up, man. This is good. Yeah, I look for the breakout to get follow through to basically your prior all-time highs as long as you're above 23.75. Below there, yes, we do have a bit of issues, but until that happens, good. Not bad, certainly. You're looking at an hourly and 4 hour though. Hourly is just a general uptrend here still. No issues as long as you're above about a quarter spot 3. So all good, man. All good. There we go, man. There we go. All right. Khalifa says, morning, sir. Good morning as well. Can you look at FTT 4 hour and daily? Sure. FTT. Okay. I guess we go to this one. Oh, this is FTX token, right? Okay. 4 hour, bad. Well, 4 hours, very likely going to retest your lows somewhere around $49. We do have hidden bearish diverters right here on the 4 hour time frame, so very likely to retest around the lows. At that point, similar to the other ones, and probably easy to watch Bitcoin in this case, very likely to make some bullish divergence. We already have an ever so slight strike of it, so some like this right around there would be good, and then I'd be looking for a bounce to follow in the next few days. We did break our uptrending line right there, so not great on the long term. But short term, could it bounce off that region after another test of the downside? Probably yes. I would invalidate that and look for like significant downside to $43 to $42 if it does close a 4 hour delta below about $48 in this case, or $47.90 if you want to be super exact. Until then, sideways within this range is still the hopium, I suppose, but can't really get too excited as long as you're below about $66. Cool. Symbol MS, is this trend analysis applicable to NFT's line chart? I'd have to check myself. I don't I haven't checked myself, but in general, you know, trends work in just about everything. If you actually notice it and know how to identify it. NFTs might be a little bit too new for it to like mean much there, but trends in general actually pretty much work across everything. It's very, very strange, but it kind of brings me into my whole psychedelic mindset that everything's connected, right? I mean, shit. Like for example, I'll give you an example here. Well, I mean, you know, hey, stop laughing. I mean, that is like a price of a thing, and it's not, I mean, like all of these are prices of a thing, and that is, you know, the most important thing, trend, right? But I mean, trends work with like clothes, for example. Like you see a trend with that and it kind of perpetuates itself. You see trends with like, okay, I'll give you a really bizarre example here. My YouTube views. So I actually went and did the analysis on my YouTube. I don't like pay too much attention to it, but I did for the first time in like 6 months. And I noticed that there was a shift in trend a long time beside that Bitcoin had a bit of a shift in trend as well. And that has held true basically until now. Now, I can tell you that my channel views have also gone a little bit too parabolic and probably are going to reverse soon, but that would be a new trend, obviously. So yeah, the trend typically is your friend, and that is something that works in pretty much most facets of life, actually, from what I've seen. I just would think that NFTs might be a little bit too new to put much weight on them. You know, the more history that you have, the better. Frig Diggler says, can you... Yes? Are you okay?
Can you tell me that you have a parrot here?
Yes, there is a parrot in the house right now, and her name is Elsa. Oh, sorry, her name's not Elsa. It's a parrot, not a person. Frig Diggler says, can you take a look at VetUSD? Yeah, let's check this one out. Let's check this one out over here. I'd like to record a video on this one because it's always interesting. Let's do a fully new one here. Yeah, it looks like it did fail that last one, or at least on the daily it did. Weekly, not so much. Okay, cool. Here we have VeChain, symbol VET versus the dollar, corrected all the way down to the 55 right here. So generally looking for a bounce off this region, maybe after one more test of the downside. Short-term timeframes, yep, we very likely do test somewhere around about 13 to 13.5 cents again. However, I would be cognizant that it's very likely to put in a drive of bullish divergence after retesting around that region, because we did get quite low on the 17th of November. So, you know, if you see something like that, I'd be looking for a bounce up over the next few days. Bounce targets would be, you know, 15 cents most likely. Do I think that things could extend from there? Yeah, absolutely. Maybe even as much as 16 cents without any major issues. But I do have an issue with getting excited about this one long term, looking for, in this case, new highs on this rally, as long as you're closing dailies below about 16 and a quarter right there. And if you do start to close below about 13 cents in this case, or 13.5 cents on a daily, I would look for a general, you know, a big leg down, actually, somewhere down around about 12.5 cents. Until then, I think it's in a much more bouncy posturing after a bit of a short-term downside move. And, you know, weekly still long-term good. I mean, it is above its range high, so I should be treating this as a breakout. I do not look at this as a failure until it actually closes below 14.5 cents. So that, if that does happen by end of this this weekend, I probably do look for it to correct a little bit further south, 12.5 cents at minimum. And if things get really nasty, I guess 10 cents. But for right now, you know, I give it the benefit of the doubt. It has been one of the better actors, historically speaking. But again, can't get too excited about it as long as you're below about 16.35 right there. Hopefully that was helpful. And yeah, hopefully that was helpful. And there you go for VeChain, sir. Cool. Let's see. Spencer Smith says, I'm almost afraid of getting the buzzer ZER, XYO versus USD on Coinbase Daily and 4 hour. Are we done dumping? I'm also gay for TA. Make a hair NFT only. All right, Faraz, you listening, sir? You listening? Let's see. XYO. Or maybe you could have Evan do it. I don't know. Is Crypto African Warlord here? I haven't seen him today, I don't think. Maybe it is. Maybe it isn't. Let me just scroll up a bit. Oh, he was. Yeah, I do see him in the beginning, but I don't see him now. All right. Well, fair enough. If he's listening, we could also get Evan on it. Cool. Okay, so we'll go to Coinbase at your request on this one. And is it going to get the buzzer? No, it's not going to get the buzzer. I mean, had a decent rally right there, but I do think it is going to come down a little bit more towards 44.5 cent. Yeah, probably tries for a bounce off of 44.5 cent or so. Until then, I only get like super bearish long term below about 38.5 cent. Below there, yeah, this thing very likely falls back down to, you know, your 20 cent lows and probably beyond over time. Doesn't deserve the buzzer though, at least for the history that we have there. Gemini Athlete says Mana 4 hour and daily. Sure, we can do that one. Okay, Mana. Okay, USD. All right. Very, very good. Oh wow, powerful. Here we have Decentraland, symbol MANA versus the dog. We've been following up on this one for a while, and it is once again brushing up against its breakout precipice at about 360 or so. I just need to see a daily closure above there, and yes, I would be targeting a measure move, an implied target about 480 actually. It's kind of a mega move right there. Perhaps in the next week or two to follow, and that would also be confluent with the 2-spot 414 extension. So anywhere in the mid to upper $4 regions where, is where I'd be looking for. I have no reason to invalidate this, especially as long as you're above 250, but that's not really helpful because you're already trading a buck above there right now. So this one is this one's looking pretty damn good. We got hidden bullish evidence on the 4-hour RSI, and you're already brushing up against this region right here. Volatility is ticking up, and momentum and 4-hour jewel is also showing upside as well. So I'm inclined to say this one very likely does follow through here. It's been one of the better charts that we've been looking at for the past like month or two. And I suspect that it's very likely to get continuation here. However, I would be saying that very likely does put in a major high somewhere around that mid to upper $4 region. So I think it's got one more drive here, and then yes, be cognizant that it probably puts in a greater high there. So we very likely do start putting some bearish evidence at that point. But for right now, still very, very good, very, very good, as long as the invalidation is not hit. And hopefully that was helpful for Mana Decentraland, sir. What's up, OMG? We actually already did Algorand and we recorded it, so I'll upload it a little bit later today. But basically more good than bad. Just want to see it close above. I think it was like $2 or something of that sort. But like I said, you can either rewind to earlier today when we went fully deep into it, or you can just wait for the video later. Gringus Gringenstein says, "How do you see FTM long term? Where's the bottom?" I don't know. Is there a long term on this thing? Let's see. Binance. Yeah, there is a long term on this thing. Where do I see the bottom? Not here. Not here, man. Not remotely here. This thing can retrace all the way down to like a buck, and it's to be long term very good and very bullish. But look, we hit extremes on weekly BBWP, also of course the daily as well. We're getting downside signatures on pretty much all momentum oscillators. I'm bearish on this one as long as you're below about 260. Could you see some short-term bounces? Perhaps yes. 4-hour is already testing around your low, so it's a little bit relatively weak on the short-term time frames. Short-term bounce back up to 250 would be fine, but it doesn't do anything for the higher-term time frames. Generally speaking, I do think that this one will make another leg down to like 180, probably try for a bounce there. And then long-term, I actually don't think that you'll see like a major low until you get all the way down to like a buck or so, and that's going to take a while. It's going to take like a couple months here, but you do have bearish evidence on the weekly, and this one already went on a major run, man. This one went on a major run. I mean, this is log scale, so here's a real chart. Like, yeah, that's a fucking top. It's good long term, but it is a top, and probably going to work its way sideways and down in the next in the following months here. I think $1 in the next couple months. Bitnick says, sorry, my bad. WAV. Okay, you want to, oh, okay, gotcha, okay. Thank you for specifying, by the way. Okay, it's this, first time. Yep, okay, 4-hour. All right, I guess we got it. It's okay here. It's a sloppy as hell chart, but I guess these are just two kind of altcoins being charted against each other. I can tell you where to get excited about this thing. It would be back above about 0.0155. Until then, short term, I would be looking for more upside on this one short term. I don't really have any. I have no reason to be bearish on this thing short term as long as you're above about 0.1118 actually. Until then, I'm looking for sideways and up from here. Volatility is starting to increase. Hidden bullish evidence right here. 4-hour jewel is also up as well. But be cognizant of the invalidation on that, because it would probably imply another move back down somewhere around about 0.1 even. 0.01 even, that is. Until then, I'm generally looking sideways and up with this as the next major area above there. Things can really get crazy, but these are not like super well traded charts, it looks like, and I've never heard of this exchange as well. So and you can also see on the volume here too, it's barely trading, man. So it's very difficult to do analysis on these things, and I want to talk about the shortcomings and limitations right there as well. But yeah, Ulf Longren, definitely Scandinavian, but you live in Canada apparently. Cardano USD 4 on daily. Yep, we already looked at this one. Looks like shit, but if it gets another bounce off of 180, $2 kind of where I'm looking for over the next few days. Daily, hard to be bullish on it below about 210, I think it was. Above 210 looks okay again. Until then, long term, kind of looking sideways and on that one too. Failed too many times at that 237 level. Let's see. More MV1 says, I can show you how to regulate your ear pressure. Really? Diver's method, turn your head opposite of the side of its pressure, hold hose Oh, hold nose and breathe. I was actually doing that this morning, man. I didn't even like know that, but it just seemed intuitive. Glad to know that that actually is supported by someone who knows what the fuck they're talking about. It did work, but man, it feels weird, man. It feels super weird. Damien says, somebody make a crown coin. If you can make a crown coin and do whatever you want with it, but I'm an American citizen and I do have to play by the rules of America, so I'd rather not get the long red dildo of the SEC of my Angus. Anyways, can you go over how you come up with the next targets? Is it fibs or are you combing data? And if so, which data? It depends. If you're in new all-time high territory, then yes, I'll do fib extensions. If you're not in new all-time high territory, I'll generally look at like past major highs and lows, and also fib retracements there as well, or major movement averages if they do if they are relevant. So it depends on the situation. Obviously not everything's in new all-time high territory, so that's not always going to be the best way to do things. So yeah. More MV1 says I can. Oh wait, no, I already got that. Nice, man, thank you. But can you check out Rune USD? Yep, we already got that one. PWire hit $26, like you said. Boom, nice. Hey, sweet. There we go. Every once in a while that TA bullshit works. But we already got Rune, so all good. And thank you for that, man. Let's see. Arbo says, can you what? 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 Oh, it's almost the end time. All right, Elsa's let me know that it is almost the end time. Yep, go for it. I'm gonna pin your message. Elsa doesn't like it when I yell. All right, let's see. Where's that message at, sir? I'm waiting for you. All right, there we go. See it. All right, sweet. Here we go. Place that pin message. Yeah, please no more super chats after this last message. So we'll do all the ones that have been sent in up until now, and but no new ones. We won't be able to do them. It's just time is already getting crazier. Q-tips puts the wax in the wax in the air. It is, yeah, that's what I figure. Put baby oil in the. Oh dear lord, is that a good idea? Hot shower, melt out the gross wax. It will take 3 to 4 days work. Oh dear man, so I have to deal with this for another few days. Fuck my asshole, man. This sucks. Slacker123 says, would you say your hair is having bearish divergence in the weekly? It might appear as such. I think it's just turning into a big old fucking bird's ass. It's not great. Hansley Motho, appreciate that, but feel free to have a message as well. Meeker's Adventure says super coin, please. So this is Elia's. Let's see where this one's at actually. So I think we were looking for a bit of a correction last time we looked at it. Let's see where we're at now. We did certainly get a correction right there. Okay, this chart's getting messy here. Let me get rid of this for now. It's not super relevant. Yeah, we did break this area right there. Okay, not great in the short term. Very likely to retest around those 135 lows. I still remain with what I said. I think it was like a week ago. Long term, I am bullish on this thing as long as you're above about $1.20. Problem is, you might actually test down around there if you do break your current lows, which would not be great. Where would I start to judge that? With a 4-hour closing lower low than 135. Until then, I kind of have the same thing to say about this one as several of the other ones. Short term, very likely to retest around your current lows, but I do think that you're probably putting some bullish evidence around there, and then try for a bounce. Any sort of a bounce back above about 157, I would look forward to trade back up towards about 170 to 175. I still, however, refrain from getting excited on this one as long as you're closing below. It's not like 193. That's probably a weekly, but about $2 even. Above $2 even, I do look for next short-term target to about 225 to 230. I don't think that things would stop there. However, I'd be generally looking for like actually $3 in the following weeks. But yeah, again, still a little bit short-term corrective here. Let's see. Hey, thank you for that, Bernie DMD. Palms rule. Yep, he has. By the way, Bernie has a couple palmies as well. Yeah, look at that. He has it in his avatar. It's a little Pomeranian right there. Can't you see? Can't you see? Oh, here comes the lucky flying dog. We have a flying dog on the loose again. What is he gonna think of next? Man, I'm sorry, Mr. My Czech Republic friend over here. I'm getting humped right now, and I cannot say your name. I'm Mr. OMNM. Messick. Yeah, I can say that one. There we go. Hello, sir. Can you look at Delivery Hero? Okay, this is a new one. D Hero? Not on TradingView, man, unfortunately, so I don't think I can see it. Maybe I can try this. D Hero? Yeah, it's not going to be there, man. Unfortunately, we can only look at what's on TradingView, so that one is not on TradingView right there, and we will not be able to look at it. Bullish Teeth has just jumped on. Not sure if you looked at KDA. We have not actually. We have not looked at Cadena. What is Cadena doing over here? Cadena still looking like, well, that was a pretty damn good bounce right there. Back above $25. I turned bullish for new all-time highs on this one, and like big new all-time highs on this one. I'm looking for like, what would it be? Like $30? Okay, that's not what I'm looking for right there. Probably looking for about, if I had to guess, like somewhere around low 30s, 31 to 32 bucks if that gets confirmed. 4-hour time frame, still basically a range at best right here, but it is actually okay as long as you're above about 18 bucks. We'd like it to come back down around there, probably yes. We still do have lower highs and has a little bit of hidden bearish divergence in the making right there, but also in between that region, it's actually long-term good. So fair enough. Might have to remove my top call on this one prematurely, but again, full confirmation on that above about $25 on a daily. Until then, or sorry, not $25 on a daily. Apologies, more like $24, 24 and a quarter on a daily. Then yeah, I'm looking for another retest of about 27 to 28, probably a small pullback there, and then I guess low 30s over time. It's probably gonna take some time, man, but goddamn. Powerful chart. Damien says, can you cover some good percentages to set for stop losses and potential issues? I think that's a terrible way to do it, so I would not recommend that. My friends don't sue them, but I feel like I should. What do you mean? Oh, don't use them. Well, you should definitely use them, and your friends probably should as well, but if they don't mind getting absolutely fucking wrecked, then well, continue on by all means. You know, we're only just 1 second away from another fucking rug pull in this whole goddamn market. Percentages for stop losses, I think that's a terrible way of doing it, but it's better than having nothing. So you know, if you literally have no other way of setting stop losses, then I guess it's better than nothing, but it's certainly not going to be optimal, and it's probably going to create a whole other set of issues. What would be a better way? I don't know, picking out the last major high or low, and you can put some stop loss around there. Obviously, those are going to get hunted out, so you probably want to go for the wicks, you know, create some other issues. But if you're just going off percentages, I'm going to tell you straight up, it's not going to be fucking optimal. Yes, I know that's what your general TA or trading handbook is going to tell you, but it's just not really relevant. At least in my opinion, especially in this market, which is just a whole liquidity grab and wick hunt a lot of the time. So that's why I like to operate off of closures above or below prior highs or lows. In those cases, Juvian Official says, hey, thanks, man. Your app, what? Did I check something that I didn't find from trade? Yeah, there's D here I couldn't find.
It is there. It's a stock, he says.
It says there's no stock either, man. Oh, it is. Okay, so the symbol is DHER, not DHERO. But yeah, we can look at it here. Very good. Very, very good. Very, very good. Wow. Yeah, very, very good. I'm looking for this one to retest September high, somewhere around 131.75 to 132 region. This is a very good long-term chart, actually. If you see a weekly closure above this, above this area right here, I look for this one to retest your prior all-time highs at about $1.45 and probably makes new all-time highs after that. Only way to invalidate this one would be coming back down like on a daily below, like $1.18 or so. But for right now, this one's very, very good. Short-term, very likely retest that area, probably pulls back and then maybe tries for another move. Juvian says, your app link doesn't load on my iPhone. I think it should work on Safari, but if it doesn't, it'll definitely work on Chrome. Must I use my desktop? Desktop will definitely work, but your phone should work as well. I just don't know if maybe you're like on some sort of browser that's not like normal. But if you use Chrome, I can assure you that works because I use my app on my phone all the time. And I'm sure if you use like maybe Firefox, probably okay as well. I'd have to look at the list of ones that definitely work, but like the major browsers work. And I think Safari probably should. I don't know. I can't test myself because I don't have Apple, sir. I do not have Apple. Eric Perkins says, sir, watch Uncommon Core podcast for happy ending. Okay. I am very lucky to have her, Mr. Lawrence S. Appreciate that, ma'am. Moon Lambo says, QRDO, please, sir. Okay, QRDO. Oops, spelled it wrong. Apologies on that. Go to KuCoin. Good. Very, very good here. It's just a general up, sir. 4-hour time frames trending right now, all time 4 hour, so low term time frames and higher term time frames are both trending. This one very likely makes new highs from here. Don't know what time frame you're looking at though, because he did not specify, but I'm looking for BBWP to get up into like the 85 percentiles or more before I call the next short-term high here. As far as the benchmark studies go, still good. Daily is working off extreme conditions, but probably a little bit too new to really care about right there. I think it's got one more high to go at least. Nipsey, we've looked at AVAX already, and it's good, above $100. I'll upload a video on it after this stream here. Let's see. Christina Maria says, not watching from work tonight. Have an amazing day, everybody. Hey, you as well, Christina Maria. Hello, Lucky, and partner in crime whose name I do not know. Her name is Nepa, but it's spelled like Nopo. Yeah, but that's not how English people would say it. But hey, shout out to you, Miss or Mrs. Christina Maria. Avzal Tahar says, could you check out LRC? Yeah, we already looked at that one. I think we recorded a video on it as well. Let me just double check, because I kind of forget my general synopsis of why. Yeah, choppy. I think this one's coming down here to like low $2 or so over the next few weeks here, and probably coming much lower than that over time. But yeah, this one's just downturn right now. Nothing really excited here. Nothing really to be excited here, as long as you're above about below about 290. Above there, yeah, it looks okay again. But I think this one's sideways at best, and most likely down. Let's see. Juvian Official says, if you need Q-tips or a comb for that matter. What? I got you, fam. Thanks, man. I also have a parrot guy for your pet bird. Thank you. Beautiful. I can finally have some relationships in my life. James Kelly says, Dobo. Okay. Oh, it's Doggy Bonk. Oh, God. Doggy Bonk. Wow. This one's going to be definitely... Oh, and also trades versus BNB. So this is definitely not going to be a rug pull at some point. Actually pretty shitty here. Looks toppy to me, man. Short term, very likely bounce back up wherever this level is right here. The numbers are so low, it doesn't even change when I put it up here, but probably looking at somewhere right around here. Bearish on this thing as long as you're below about 2, whatever that means. I don't have an opinion on this chart though, man. Look, I would not stand by this analysis. This is just a weird chart. I'm like, I've never seen that and this on these times. Like, it just doesn't even make sense. So I don't have a real opinion on it, but I'm led to very likely... I bought some after your last review, and it keeps defying gravity. Yeah, I remember I was bullish on it last time, but I think you kind of saw that move, man. I don't really feel too confident on that one now. I wouldn't feel confident calling upside. I wouldn't necessarily feel confident calling downside. I just don't feel confident on that chart at all, man. If I look at like maybe an hourly, I think it pops up short term here, but I wouldn't necessarily call new all-time highs off that. Dave says, hello, sir. Really, hey, all good, man. All good. Dude, you have to understand, man, this is also a selfish endeavor. So while I'm glad that it helps, it is selfish altruism, sir. Help yourself, but also help other people. That is the way that the world can go round and good. LTO. Okay, 4-hour daily for LTO. What is this? All right. Not good on the hourly. 4-hour. Probably looking for a bounce relatively soon off of 53.5 cent. But I'm not a big fan of this chart overall. I don't really think there's much to be getting excited about as long as you're below about 69 cents in this case. Above there, yeah, I'd be calling new all-time highs and starts to look pretty damn good. But for now, I think you're getting close to a short-term bounce. Bounces can come back up into the mid to low 60s, but as long as you're below 69, I do look at this as likely to come down lower over time, maybe in the next few weeks here. But again, another very new chart. You know, how much do I actually make out of that? Probably not much. I'm not a humongous fan of this chart right here. Just really not too much to be going off of right there. Party on top and diva in the front. Yeah, man. There we go. There we go. The old eyebrows are working well right now. John Ray says, please look at Mint token, not on TradingView. But then what the fuck, man? We're looking at TradingView right now. If we don't look at TradingView, I don't have my regular tools, man. Let's see. Maybe it is on TradingView. Let's see. Mint USD. There is Mint token on TradingView. It's on Pangolin shitcoin chart. And wow, this is a fucking terrible chart, man. Holy fucking moly. There's your worst chart of the day award, no doubt about that. Even I mean, Doggy Bonk is way better than this shit. Jesus Christ. Big dip due to whale wallet being hacked. Sir, this thing only dips. This is not a dip. This is a rug pull crash. You're getting dumped on, sir, and you're buying into some whatever fucking narrative. So please look at Mint token, not on TradingView. How the fuck am I going to look at it then, man? Sorry, man, not to give you some shit here. Look, there's no... This is garbage. This one's been banned from the moon. Well, look, if I invert it, yeah, it's gone to the moon already, but that's not the real chart. That is literally the opposite of what it's done. This is the worst thing I've seen all day and probably will see this month. the only way that, I mean, maybe you have some insider information on that one and you just like it. Hey, fair enough. That's a different game. And but as far as this one goes, just terrible right there. Absolutely garbage. What's up, Style Series? EXRD. Okay. Kcoin. Bad. Short-term bad, at least. Let's see what we got right here. 4 hour and daily. 4 hour probably popping back down to 43 cents or so. Daily. Topping, yeah, I look for this one to come back down to low 40s and try for a bounce off of like maybe 40 cents or so. I think this one's hit a high for a while. Big extremes on your daily BBWP, bearish divergence on your daily RSI. Yeah, there's going to be bounces along the ways, but short-term sideways and down here. I only invalidate that back above about 55, 56 cent or so. Steve Kelly, what's up, man? This took me 25 minutes. Cool, man. Well, fair enough. Glad that we can actually get it to it. PBR on the hourly. Okay. Isn't this like some shitty beer? Okay, it's Poker Bridge. Yeah, I think we've looked at this one before, like way back when. It's been a while. Let's see where it's at. Really uneventful chart, I will say. really uneventful chart right here. Look, I really don't have a good analysis to give you on something that's been around for like 2 days since the 16th of November. Or any analysis really at all. I can tell you what you probably already know. Hey, back above about 340. I guess I'm looking for new highs, but if I'm looking at this chart right here, again, if you put a gun to my head, I would not stand by this analysis at all. But if you put a gun to my head and said do it or die, I'd say this one very likely comes back down to like 255, probably breaks down from there as well. I mean, the trend is your friend in this case. The trend is to the downside. Yeah, really way too new to give any credence towards, man. I would not put any weight on that analysis. Apologies, though. Nipsey says, we looked at both AVAX and Super, actually. We recorded one for AVAX, and Super was just about 10 minutes ago or so. Still corrective there, but overall good above 120. Stylix here says, one more. Aave. Okay, Aave, 4 hour daily, weekly. Gotcha. Okay. Let's try this right here. All right, 4 hour, what do we have? Very likely pops back down and tests around your 270 lows, maybe even close a little bit lower than there, but as long as I don't see a closure below about 260, I do look for this one to probably put in some bullish divergence and bounce up alongside Bitcoin, maybe over the next couple days here. This is obviously going to be negated now, and it no longer has that potential long-term goodness. In fact, long-term, this one's starting to really lose structure here for what it's worth. Weekly, you are kind of coming down to a major level. You know, you expect your bounce right here. I guess that's the hopium right now. So I would be looking for one more grind of your lows, maybe somewhere down around the mid 260s. Very likely a bounce over the next few days. Bounce, you know, could very easily get back to 290. Above 290, however, that's where things look a little more interesting, and I would look for a nice move up somewhere around about 300. Doesn't really do anything for like the daily at that point, but I guess would be maybe relevant to you or not. Above 336, that's where the daily starts to turn around and actually be good up to about $400, and above there on a weekly, things look really good for the macro. Now, is this relevant right now? I mean, it's very far away for right now, but I guess maybe it's relevant for you, maybe it's not. I don't know. 5 day, how do we close? I mean, sort of like not strong charts right here, it looks like. But I guess I'd give it a chance, you know, just because I'm kind of looking at the same thing on Bitcoin, and you know, it's probably going to mirror whatever Bitcoin does anyways. And that's it. Holy shit. Use warm water, even hydrogen peroxide. Really? So you can put that in your ear? Wow. Interesting. Thank you for that, man. I appreciate that, Jay Yang, and all the people offering up some perspectives, of course, on how to like actually properly clean your ears, because I didn't learn these things as a kid, I guess. You know, I'm American after all, but I do appreciate it, man. I do appreciate it. Anyways, I am going to be signing off now. Actually, this was quite a pleasure on this lovely Thursday morning over here. I'm gonna go fix up Elsa's computer so it can be bright like the sun soon enough. There's a doggy bye-bye, and I think it is time to say our goodbyes, of which I want to wish you well once again, and we'll be back on tomorrow doing the same thing, same time, same place. Until then, take care, and hopefully see you very soon.
Christmas dildos moving up and down. They'll call and quit the crowd. You've got to TA to be free. Learn how to surf in the deep red sea. lines, average values, RSI. Lift ocean coins to the sky. From distributor into XRP.